the person that you're seeing committing this crime on your screen right now is not the person that you thought it was. We were all fooled. There was a huge plot twist in Like Mother, Like Daughter this week, and I wanted to analyze it, talk about it, because a lot of times these plot twists can wind up ruining a story. Something this big, if you don't do it right, your story's going to be screwed. So let's look at this. I have some mixed feelings about it. I got my little notes here. Let's see how effective of a plot twist this really was and whether it could be more effective. So, Seoul Ryu, who you remember from my earlier video of this series about a month ago, was murdered in the last chapter. But there was a twist. We all thought that Sum-young was about to complete one of the most compelling heel turns that I've ever seen. Story-wise, it's even better than what we saw earlier this month when John Cena turned heel. But it wasn't her. It was a flashback all along, and her mom, Somin, was the one that committed this crime. Again, I have mixed reactions to this. First of all, I do want to say that it was a well-written plot twist because it went to very great lengths to hide the truth from us, and no detail was spared in the hiding of that truth. We never saw Seoul refer to Sum-young by name. It was always Sum, so that's one of them. There was no showing of modern technology, no smartphones or anything like that. No one really thought anything of it, but the author did. And most importantly, there was no scene where Sum-young was with her mom in any of these chapters. None. And I mentioned that in the video at the time, last month ago. Why isn't Sum-young with her mom? Well, it turns out there was a damn good reason for it, because she wasn't alive yet. So all these details were meticulously taken care of, so everything is internally consistent with this narrative. Everything makes sense. And we even got a bit of a much bigger foreshadowing, if you will, when we saw those scenes where we thought Sum-young was being chased down by that demented old woman. Well, that was the real Sum-young, but that demented old woman was Seoul's mom, who Sum-young's mom got sent to jail on suspicion of murdering her daughter when it was Sum-young's mom, Somin, all along. Yeah, I'd be pretty angry at her too, but she legitimately did have dementia. So everything made sense. This was a very well done plot twist. It wasn't sloppily executed. Did it ruin the story like so many plot twists do? No, but here's why I have a mixed reaction to it. All the energy in Season 2 felt like, as I said, it was setting up the biggest heel turn, the best heel turn that I've ever seen on a Webtoon. And it would make the title of Like Mother, Like Daughter complete. Sum-young was going to become a murderer like her mom. But this plot twist now sucks all of the energy out of that. And now, as far as Sum-young goes, as far as her development goes, we're back to square one with her. So, Like Mother, Like Daughter did a very rare thing of, basically turning someone that was already heel, Sum-young's mom, turned her into an even bigger heel, a more dangerous heel than we ever thought was possible. I mean, to murder your friend like that because she wasn't your picture-perfect idea of what your friend should be, and then getting her mother sent to jail on your crime, that was absolutely horrifying. I was actually thinking about it last night. Like, I got up in the middle of the night and my brain sort of wandered to that topic. I'm like, wow, that was really good storytelling right there. That was absolutely horrifying. So horrifying that I'm thinking about it at night. Because who would want to have anything that horrible, to even be anything near that horrible? But as dramatic as this was, as great as this was to set up Somin as one of the worst villains you've ever seen, certainly one of the worst on a webtoon, probably the number one that I've ever seen up there, it still felt a bit like an anticlimax because all of Sumyoung's development was gone. So, what does Like Mother Like Daughter do now? It reminded me of a certain part in Wired for Story where it talks about how reveals, big reveals like this, often rob the story of what hooks readers in the first place. So while the hints were all there and immaculately done, the author went to very great lengths. Everything that I thought I was going to care about with Sumyoung now, that's all gone. Except for, obviously her getting away from this very, very dangerous psychopath that she has for a mom. And she absolutely is a psychopath. The villain I'm most reminded of when I saw this is Shogo Makishima from Psychopath. And if you haven't, be warned, it's not for the faint of heart. It's a very dark subject matter, but if you want to see a similar villain, and you like this webtoon and you want to see a similar villain, go check out the first season of Psychopaths and see what Shogo Makishima does. They're very, very similar. But we now need to see Sumyoung get a little heat back. We need to see just how powerless Sumyoung really is, to get behind her more, because we haven't really, it turns out we haven't really followed her story arc for a long time now. So we need something that's going to get us reinvested in her development, because she is the main character of this story. Remember that. We should never forget that. As deeply layered as Somin is, Sumyoung is still the main character of this story. So we need to really get reasons to cheer for her right now. And it shouldn't be that hard to do. I obviously trust the author to do it. Like when I compare with Makishima, for example, he was always being hunted by this badass guy Shinya Kogami. Sumyoung ain't Shinya Kogami. She's a powerless little girl. She's not a badass cop that could hunt her mom down the way that Shinya went after Shogo. I won't spoil it for you. We need to see that powerlessness on display in real time right now. Season 1 left us with a good lead into that, but I really want to see that now. I want to see Sumyoung develop and try to find a way out of this. It's the ultimate underdog story. It's the ultimate. This could be such a great underdog story, but I want to see it now. That's what I want to see. So very well done on the author's part, but now there's a lot of work to be done with the protagonist. So it's like one step forward and one step back. That's how I feel about this huge plot twist in Like Mother Like Daughter this week, the end of season 2. But those are just my bullet point thoughts. I want to know what you think. What do you think about the ending of season 2 of Like Mother Like Daughter? Let me know in the comments below, because each one helps the video to grow. And I was a little disappointed with my last Like Mother Like Daughter one, so help me out. I'm going to do a few more of these bullet point videos, these quick bullet point videos, en route to WrestleMania 41, where I will be ranking every WrestleMania main event by not just the match, but the story. So stay tuned for that. Thank you to all my Patreon and channel members. And here you all are, you very lovely people. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. with could WrestleMania 17's main event have actually worked in the end? That was a huge twist that did not work like this one. We'll talk about that in a little short bullet point video next time. See you guys.